Finally, we will meet Mike Reiner, Managing Director of Startup Wise Guys, and he will give us a few remarks. Come on, Mike, I'm waiting for you. He will give us a few remarks on why B2B is important. So, why B2B? Do you have a mic?
I have 10 minutes. Let's see
if you need another one.
It does. All right. There we go. So hi, everyone. Thanks for the introduction. My name is Mike Reiner. I'm a co-founder and head of Startup Wise Guys Accelerator. Over the last 2 years, we've invested in and worked with startups from more than 15 different countries that are all technology agnostic. And this year, we focus exclusively on B2B companies. The new program is called Business Tech, which means any B2B startup out there can apply now and participate in our program this summer, if selected. And I want to talk a little bit more about why I made the choice, why B2B. Why is this relevant for you guys? Because if you look in media, often the examples you see, Snapchats, WhatsApp, Instagram, the talks are about multi-billion-dollar acquisitions or valuations. But the harsh reality is, these are the exceptions. It's like the wild, wild west out there. Nobody knows what will be the next big thing. And it's like drawing a lottery ticket. But if we look at the B2B space, twice as many enterprise startups have become multi-billion-dollar startups opposed to consumer startups. And if we look currently, companies are spending $500 billion a year with legacy enterprise startups. So the future, more and more money will be spent on enterprises. And if you look at cloud specifically, 70% of CIOs say they will embrace a cloud-first strategy by 2016. So what does it mean? If we look more specifically, it's hard to read, but in 2007, 2008, social was dominating the space in terms of exits and in terms of funding. And if we look at 2, gaming, 3, advertisement and sales, cloud is only number 4. Business analytics, nowhere to be seen. Big data, not on this list. SaaS, way down there. But only a few years later, look, 2012, this social now plays 3 and 6. And look at the list. Funding, 1, cloud. SaaS, number 2. Big data, number 3. Number 1 in terms of exits is business intelligence. So within just a few years, the space has massively changed. And if we look right now, this keeps growing. There's massive opportunity here. This is primarily driven by 2 main growth factors, which is 1, they call Moore's Law, it's a processing power that keeps growing exponentially. And if you look at big data, 90% of data out there has been created over the last few years. 90%. Imagine what that means to customers, to companies out there who have to use this data, do something with this. And the cloud market, this year, Forbes estimates to be $150 billion. And even more important, more than 3/4 of businesses will increase the cloud usage. And 92% of them are completely satisfied, which is important because in the past, there's always been a trust issue with cloud, and this is increasingly so, like limited, and where more and more companies implement cloud, and the space is just exploding at the moment. So, I want to talk about a few opportunities. Because, there's tons of opportunities out there, but I'm going to highlight a few which are all very, very closely related and have an impact on each other. And the one I want to highlight first is security. The number 1 barrier for cloud adoption is security. And as said, this is changing. So in 2012, 55% of people raised concerns in terms of security when it came to cloud. 1 year later, last year, this dropped to 46%. And this will expect to keep dropping, so people will feel more and more secure with putting their data out there in the cloud. Companies will move there, so this space will just keep on growing. And if you look at security at large, there's massive opportunity there, and investors love it. So also when you look at privacy and safety, look at cybersecurity at large, security space absolutely hot, and definitely a space that many more startups will jump into. And this is driven by more users, more interconnected devices, and more financial transactions, which brings us to the next one, payments. If you look at the mobile payments globally, they're estimated to be next year $1 trillion US. So it's just one channel, but you see the channels are changing rapidly, very fast. And this whole industry will be massively disrupted. Also, we look at a larger scale, if you look at currency, we look what Bitcoin has done. No one knows whether Bitcoins will stay, yes or no, but Bitcoin right now has a transaction volume of hundreds of millions of dollars per day. So the whole question around what currency is going to be is very interesting as well. And the whole ecosystem, what's the bank going to be in 10 to 20 years down the road? Are there going to be any banks at all? The middlemen were cut out. One great Estonian example, for instance, TransferWise, is a startup that moved to London recently. They're exposing all the hidden bank fees, and they're doing it at a much, much lower rate, and the adoption rate is huge. And the banks are getting scared because they see they're attacked from all the different angles. And the question is, what's their role going to be? SaaS, so we've had already a few people talk about it. 82% of all cloud investments have been SaaS investments. And you see that more and more companies are ready to jump in, to go for a SaaS strategy, because accessibility is important. They want to be accessible anytime, anywhere, from any device. The interface looks increasingly simple, easier to use, and it's scalable. And then analytics. 90% of the data that corporates have is completely unused. They don't do anything with it. So for startups to move into this space, bring structure to that data, then draw insights out of it, and actually build forecasting models, predictive, out of this, it's a huge opportunity and will keep growing. That's also a reason why IBM, for instance, put like BI as one of their top priorities in the future to invest in. So there's one thing that startups often forget in this space, and I want to highlight this here separately, which is it's all about sales. And especially when I look in CEE, I see amazing startups, great products, but what I often see lacking is a biz dev and sales. And especially when it comes to B2B, a large percentage of the sales is human to human. And 95% of decision makers indicate they want and need human interaction in order to make the decision. It's never been easier to gain targeted leads. Nowadays, via Twitter, LinkedIn, to gain insights about decision makers and customize your approach. It's never been easier. And the third one I want to highlight, it's all about content creation. If you're in B2B, content is key in terms of building an expert profile, expert articles, but actually video is king. More than 90% of decision makers indicate they want to watch a video first to understand the solution, to get a feeling for it. So very briefly, what we did is we summarized this in the 3 I's, what we find important, which is insights, integrity, and impact. Insights, because it's all about data and metrics, and it's about finding the right partners and supporters, also in terms of board of advisory, to bring your business forward. Integrity, because it's all about trust, especially in B2B. It's about the reputation, the experience, and recognition. And impact, because obviously your business has to be scalable, international, but one really, really important part in B2B is sales cycle, and reducing that sales cycle as much as you can to grow your business. So maybe now you consider B2B. I only had like 10 minutes, and we were already over time a bit. One final thought. There's massive opportunity, but there's also a shit ton, like shitty software out there. Massive opportunity for you guys to improve, bring online. And what I'd like to ask you is, don't be afraid to talk to companies. They all consist of people. People are much more forgiving than you might think, especially if you approach them the right way. And I want to ask you to validate very early on, to focus on a very key, detailed, like core product at the beginning, very simple, and choose your first customers very well. And try, have fun, and dream big. Thank you.